A funny thing starts happening every February when it comes to people working out. No, I'm not talking about those who give up on their New Year's resolutions. I'm referring to the insane amount of people who start developing nagging aches, pains, and eventually injuries. It never fails. We're super motivated and start thinking, I'm going to do cardio every day, I'm going to stop eating all carbs, and I'm going to take every exercise class I possibly can. Sound familiar? But come February, I start getting calls from people who tweaked a knee, or they started feeling a weird knot in their hip, or they just have a pinch in their shoulder. And the most part, they're just bummed because just when they felt like they were starting to make real progress, something happens to slow them down. Now, if this sounds like you, keep watching because I'm going to show you how to stay injury-free when you get back into your fitness routine. Plus, I'm going to share a few exercises you can do starting today to bulletproof your body year-round. Hey friends, Coach Matt here, and if you're getting back into fitness, first of all, welcome back. I'm sure you're super excited and ready to hit it hard, but if you want to stay pain and injury free while you make those gains, you've got to start including this one thing in your routine: mobility training. Now we're going to use this style of training to target what I call the big three: the shoulders, the hips, and the spine. Now these areas are involved in just about every form of exercise, so targeting them with the mobility exercise I'm going to show you today will give you the biggest bang for your buck. They're also the simplest way to make sure your joints and muscles won't be screaming come February. Today we'll be doing some mobility exercises called carbs, which stands for controlled articular rotations, and I absolutely love them because they take your joints through their biggest pain-free range of motion while bringing much needed blood and nutrients to the area. Now, if you've never done carbs before, I'd highly recommend checking out my 3 must-have mobility moves. They're the first thing I teach every single person that I coach, and they are non-negotiable. You can check them out in the link below. Now, today's exercises put a twist on my 3 must-have moves by changing our orientation to gravity and attacking the joints from a different angle. First up is the Sideline Hip Car. As the name says, you're going to be performing this movement laying on your side. I know, real original. This exercise strengthens and unlocks the muscles of the hip. Now, the added bonus is that you'll be lifting your leg up against gravity, which puts more load on your glutes and all the muscles on the side of your hip here. Now, the side of your hip will not only be asked to rotate the hip, but now it must support the weight of your leg. And after a few reps, you'll feel all the lateral muscles of the hips engaging in a new way. Now, these new sensations lead to new gains. Now, here's a coaching tip. Don't let your pelvis or your lower back move while moving through this exercise. You're going to start to feel it start to move all different ways. Remember, this is a hip exercise. It's not a pelvis or a lower back exercise. So with this, you're going to want something like a pillow or a yoga block to support your head. I'm going to demo on the left side. So you're going to lay with your body stacked. So hips stacked, knees stacked, shoulders are stacked, and then you place your object underneath your head. Now, to create more tightness in your upper body, you're going to have your right arm straight out in front of you. So the bottom arm is going to be kind of punchy. The left hand is going to grab, and he's going to kind of pull. So the bottom punches, top pulls, and that just kind of locks your body into place. Secondly, you want to have a little bit of tension here. So almost think like somebody's going to kick you in the stomach, because I don't want to see your pelvis tucking and untucking, and I don't want to see your hips rolling backward. All of this stays still. And now from here, we're going to do our side hip car. It's very similar to our standing. Same exact motion, just different feeling. Left leg is going to be up. Keep your knee bent to 90. You're going to pull up into flexion as high as you can get without your spine moving. You're going to open the door. From here, the knee stays still, and it's like you're swinging that foot backwards. So you feel the pocket engaged. When you can't get any more, the knee's going to go back. Your foot's going to keep getting high as the knee drops. You're going to pull through the zone, and now you reverse. Foot goes straight back. You lift the foot up, and then the goal is to get that knee up, 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 up. And you see how the foot swings around? We're at that open door position, and then we slowly lower down. I'll do 2 more to demo. Open, rotate, push back, down, pull through the zone. Hold, reverse, push straight back, foot up, 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 and then close the door. 1 more. Open, rotate, push back, down, pull through, reverse, foot up, and then work on getting that knee up and swing the foot through, and then slowly lower down. And that is how we do the Sideline Hip Car. And just make sure your body doesn't move. Nothing moves except your hip. Just like Now next up is the Sideline Shoulder Car, which once again means we lay on our side. Now unlike the Sideline Hip Car, where we're moving against gravity, this Sideline Shoulder Car moves with gravity, which allows your arm to get into larger ranges of motion overhead and behind your back. Now when you're in these larger ranges of motions, you're able to strengthen tissue that you wouldn't have access to in other positions like standing. Now here's another tip for this. Don't let your sternum rotate up towards the ceiling. This is going to make sure that you're not using your torso to make up for your lack of shoulder movement. So make sure you keep that torso pointed straight ahead throughout the duration of the exercise.
Grab a block or a pillow, whatever you got handy, and put it gently under your head. Make sure your body is nice and straight. Hips are stacked on top of hips, shoulders stacked on top of shoulders. And you're going to do the same shoulder car move as the daily ones. Taking the arm up overhead, finding your roadblock, slowly internally rotating the arm, drawing the biggest circle you can. Come down and come back up, hit your roadblock again, and then unwind the shoulder, coming back all the way over the top. And now from the side view, same thing, body's nice and stacked. Find the roadblock, roll the arm into internal rotation, come all the way down, pause, go back up, unwind, and then slowly come back over the top.
Now our last mobility exercise is the bear pose spine car. Now that's a mouthful, but the base position, which is bear pose, is what makes this movement so unique. Now think of Winnie the Pooh sitting on the ground with a big old jar of honey in front of him, and you get the idea of what bear pose looks like. The goal of this exercise is to move each vertebrae one by one, which is the key to a healthy spine. Now if your back is always tight or you're worried about your lower back, this is going to be your new best friend. This position can be a little uncomfortable if you're not used to sitting on the ground. So an easy idea is to place a yoga block under your butt to allow you to move through greater ranges of motion. And heck, even if that's not comfortable, you can always add a second yoga block, because the higher you are, the easier the exercise will be. So just kind of play around and find out what works for you. Now here's a little coaching tip. You want to use your hands for leverage to help you put the sternum up and through when going into extension. And you'll know what I'm talking about when you start doing the exercise, but you can really grab your hands and use them to assist you lifting your sternum up like so.
If you got something to sit on, it makes it a little bit easier. The higher your hips are off the floor, the less hip flexion you're going to be in, which is going to make articulating your spine a little bit easier. But if you're mobile, you can simply just get rid of that. You're going to have your legs out in front of you. And what we're trying to get into is sitting down and back. So my pelvis is rolling underneath me. I'm pulling myself down. I can use my hands to help. So I'm trying to get into max out spinal flexion. Now from here, I'm going to start to articulating my spine all the way up. So I'm going to first think pulling my tail feathers up. So like a string is pulling my pelvis back and up. I roll it forward. And then now I'm going to start to get into my thoracic. Boom. Get extended. So I'm trying to lift my sternum up. I'm still trying to stick my butt out. And once I can't get anymore, now I'm going to go into my cervical. Let's see if I can get a little bit more. Trying to get my sternum up, the back of my butt up to the back of my head. From here, I'm going to reverse, flex the neck, thoracic, and then finally my pelvis. I'm going to work my way back up, starting from here. Stick the butt out. Now start to articulate that lumbar spine. Thoracic spine, and my cervical, reverse, making my way down, down, and then finally tucking that pelvis underneath, trying to get this as close to here as possible. And that is a spinal car from the bear pose position.
Now I'm sure you're wondering when to do these exercises, and what's great about mobility training is how flexible it can be. You can do your exercises anytime, anywhere, but my favorites include first thing in the morning, warm your body up for the day, before, during, or after your workout, in between episodes of your favorite binge-worthy show, before bed, which is a great way to wind down after a long day, and lastly, any time of day that you can think of it. The key is to find what works for you. It's all cumulative, so a little here and a little there adds up to big time mobility gains. Another tip that works for people, especially in the beginning, is to set alarms on your phone throughout the day. Even if you only do it once or twice, that's still enough to reap the benefits of this powerful tool. You've got some new moves for the new year, so there's no reason your body will be aching come February. Do yourself and your body a favor and get your mobility training in today. And once you guys get your hands on these moves, let me know how you do in the comment sections below, and we'll see you guys next time.